Beware of sexually transmitted demons. The following information was compiled by Bernhard Guenta and describes how entities can attach to you through sexual intercourse and other sexual exchanges. Bernhard is scheduled to be a guest on In 5D's Cosmic Awakening show on August 13 to discuss his personal experience with hyperdimensional attacks. It's important to let go of the fear of such attacks by gaining an understanding and awareness of how these attacks occur and what we can do about it. First, the openness and surrender during sexual intercourse can allow the exchange of attached entities between two people. The thoughts, desires, and behaviors of an attached entity are experienced as the person's own thoughts, desires, and behaviors. The thoughts, feelings, habits, and desires do not seem foreign if they have been present for a long time, even from childhood. This is a major factor in the widespread denial of the concept and lack of acceptance of the phenomenon of discarnate interference and spirit attachment, obsession, or possession. That's mean because they follow you since childhood. Usually they are following you when they follow you from childhood to adulthood. You'll think that is normal and that's just your character or some childhood trauma. You'll attribute it to a childhood trauma. Usually those entities will give you a hologram or even a configuration that is of traumas and abuse. Sometimes sexual abuse within the family and within the home itself, and you will carry to this trauma to adulthood, and you will play sex during these times, and when you reach adulthood you will think that is normal, and it's not. Second, people also pick up entity attachments through sex. That's because sex is synergy exchange. The term sex, S-E-X, is synergy exchange. That means you transmit energy from one person to another. So you must be aware of who you transmit your energy to or you give your energy to. Sex is much more than a physical interaction. It is an energetic exchange and opening into another person on an energetic and spiritual level. The act of sex creates a connection between your energy field aura and the energy field of the person you are having sex with. When this connection is made, you will pick up or absorb whatever is attached within the other person's energy field. See? So it's just like they are depositing rubbish into your aura during that act. And well, it counts when those sex act is mutual. It has to both of them be agreeable. If the sex is not mutual, then it's not valid. For example, if it's an act of rape or forced sex, this is not valid. And also when both of them is not reaching orgasm, then it's less to become less effectual for this energy to be transmitted from one person to another. And that's why many of the perverse males, especially males, and there's also females who partake in this lewdness and evil, vile kind of act, which is very perverted indeed, that prefer children. You see, the pedophiles, they usually prefer child. Why? Because children are innocent and they have their aura still crystalline. It's very crystalline, and they would rather have sex with children because they still haven't let go of that crystalline molecule that they pursue, that purity, see. And so they prefer children. Also, they believe that they will rejuvenate them, right? And or they will prefer rape. And why rape? Because during the rape, the victim is letting go adrenaline, and this adrenaline is a fluid that the entities will suck. The entity that's in that male will absorb. That's why rape and pedophilia is very a common place in those planets. There's planets, not on these planets, but the other planets which are governed by evil, vile, pervert entities. Okay? So they usually attach in a person, and the person will play sex. Even during childhood, they will be a bit pervert. If you have sex with someone that has an entity or demon, you will absorb that entity into yourself. You will basically be making a choice to allow or invite anything within the person's energy field you are having sex to come into you. That's why it's very important that if you get raped, I don't wish this to anybody, because it's a violation of the person's will. Take a bath with salt and vinegar in whatever plants, herbs, to get away that miasma, that dirt from that cursed being that did that to you. Alright? Do that. And whenever you have sex that is mutual, do that. Especially so when you have sex that is mutual, when you are agreeable to that act, do have a bath. It's important to understand that sex actually is and what it creates beyond physical pleasure, and to choose the correct people who you want to open up yourself to on that level. 3. Vast beings living for thousands of years in your terms make their living ruling and parenting you, seeking their value from you because you have considered yourself as valueless and purposeless. Those who would rule you on the physical and multi-dimensional planes understand the power of your genitals to create life, pleasure, pain, and death, and even adrenaline. They use your genitals as doorways without you even realizing it. You are regrading Earth and changing the frequency so that one by one lights go on and fields of energy are established. You must learn how to stop feeding those vampires who suck your energies from the astral planes, from the dimensions, and from on and under the earth herself. Your sexuality and how it is used are the key elements. It is in this very deep part of your regenerative self, your sexual organs, the core of your being, that many of the main problems lie. Problems so dark, so secret, that no one would dare speak of them. Yet they must be revealed. To relinquish power over your sexual organs is truly to abdicate the power of living. By power, we mean a sense of connectedness and accountability, the maturity to know when to express yourself sexually and when not to. First, you must make peace with the sexual organs of your being, because it is here that life springs forth. And most of all, seek to understand the power of your sexuality, to infuse its expression only with love, for sex without love is truly not worth experiencing. It's just something modern, something dirty, something that is only mentally and physical based and not soul based. Within the sexual frequency, you exchange with one another. So if you are bonding yourself and chemically exchanging with a person who is not of your likeness, you are taking on their garbage because you are exchanging energy quite intimately. Even if you don't want to be with this person, the sexual experiences stays with you because you have had an electromagnetic exchange. Within the sexual frequency you exchange with one another, so if you are bonding yourself, you chemically exchange with a person it's not of your likeness. But I don't believe that because there's no orgasm, if there's no orgasm, you will not gonna absorb it entirely. See, you need to be mutually, because it's all about free will. If you truly agree to the act, then you are receiving the energy of the other. However, if you are not into that act, you will not be receiving anything that you don't want to. Just it's void. It's like a rape. You are taking on the garbage because even if you don't want to be with this person, the sexual experience stays with you because you have had an electromagnetic exchange. No, I don't believe that. You need to mutually agree because it's your free will. It's your free will at stake. Sexual chemistry and sexual intercourse itself is also a preferred method of creating a powerful link for psychic feeding. It is very important to not participate in the normalization of sexual behaviors that are not based in mutual respect and deep reverence. And also respect. Even within sex, need to have respect between each other. This may sound prudish, but I do think human sexuality is powerful and threatening to the dark forces, and they use normalizing sexual deviancy and loose sexual behaviors to destroy people and to prevent the true spiritual potential of human sexuality from being realized and enjoyed. There is no comparison when sacred sexuality is honored, realized, and or known. Lower form of sexuality are then obviously repulsive, demonic in a form of ritual. Is usually a form of ritual. Low and degrade to the very person, to every person evolved. And that's why the world is the way it is, especially due to sex, because of this kind of dysfunctional values around sex, that sex is somewhat disvalorized, is used for gains, used for mere recreation and ego, and just to satisfy entities and these people who are partaking in this act. Usually entities use you to fulfill themselves sexually through you, and at the same time they are sucking your energies. When you partake into these acts, you actually feeding them because they suck you like a straw. When you reach an orgasm, see. That's why I have the so-called Incubus and Succubus. Succubus, if I'm not mistaken, is a female demon, and Incubus is the male counterpart. And so it goes that if you are sexually pervert, you need to try to balance your chakras, and try to go to nature, and try to divert your mentality to something else, to your work, or do other things that benefits you without think with your lower chakras, because all this is about root based chakras, you see. And in the long run, if it's in the pervert way, it will not do it any good, even within marriage. If the man and a woman takes their sexual act very commonplace, like very in a vulgar manner, they are banalizing the sexual energy between them, and that's why many of them fall in love quickly. They're not in love, they are into sex and not in love. Having the good sense to set appropriate boundaries, finding and addressing our blind spots and past traumas that create unconscious reactions, and developing the capacity for highly evolved skills of discernment is of extraordinary importance. If we have not addressed our own blind spots and unconscious triggers, or do not have a clear sense of what's really going on, this can be one of the easiest ways that narcissists and entities can use to take and misuse our energy. Fifth, pay attention to whom you share intimate energy with. Intimacy at this level intertwines your aural energetic field with the aural energetic field of the other person. These powerful connections, regardless of how insignificant you think they are, leave spiritual debris, particularly within people who do not practice any type of cleansing, physical, emotional, or otherwise. 200% true. The more you interact intimately with someone, the deeper the connection, and the more of their aura is intertwined with yours. Imagine the confused aura of someone who sleeps with multiple people and carries around these multiple energies. What they may not realize is that others can feel that energy, which can repel positive energy and attract negative energy into your life. It's like if you sleep with someone that sleeps with men, you are sleeping with all their lovers at the same time in the spiritual level without even notice it. And that's about it. So think before you decide to sleep with anyone, because sex is sacred. It's an action of divinity, and is an act of I would say procreation, and also of enjoyment of two bodies. Okay, two souls, not two bodies, two souls who love each other and want to unite their bodies. But do not banalize it. Do not banalize it. Because in the long run, you will fall off love quickly. As soon as much as you fall in love.